Hello once again, it's your boy That's No Moon. We are back with another Star Wars Galaxy Heroes video. Tonight's topic of conversation is gonna be about guilds, their importance, especially early game. And the reason for this video, a good friend of the channel reached out to me last night and said he had an idea for a video, and we got talking about it. It's a great idea because especially early game, it is incredibly easy to fall into this mistake. Both he and myself both fell into this mistake of staying in a bad guild for too long. Now, I want to start this video off by saying there is no such thing really as a bad guild, but there is a bad fit or a bad guild fit for you. And essentially, it's going to be exploring early game how to recognize what's a bad fit in a guild and when you should start thinking about jumping ship as well. Now, you guys have been absolutely killing it on the videos. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe again. You guys have been absolutely overwhelming over the last few days. Thank you all very, very much for that, first and foremost. You guys are doing an amazing job. So in terms of my mistake, and Tardis was saying this as well, he was saying, and certainly with my experience as well, we both joined guilds and we didn't really know what was going on in terms of the guild. And unless you're shown what's going on and how to sort of navigate it around, it's quite easy to get stuck into a dead guild or a dying guild or something like that as well. And the importance of being in a good guild, you don't realize that you're in a good guild until you're in a good guild. What I mean by that is it's amazing. You ask anyone who's been playing this game for any length of time, and their number one reason for staying playing this game is going to be because of the people that they've surrounded themselves with, like-minded individuals, a guild that fits their needs, and there's all sorts of kind of different guilds. There's casual guild, there's very, very casual guilds. There's there's committed but casual guilds. There's like elite guilds as well, which absolutely focus down on PvP events and PvE events as well. So it is important to find, and first thing is just to say, you need to sort of determine what sort of player you're going to be in this game. Now, you need to work out whether you need to be in a casual guild, more experienced guild, because of the amount of time that you're putting into this game as well. Now, there is a guild out there for everyone. And as I said, I'm not in this video trying to get people to leave their guild. What I'm trying to say is basically find a guild that is right for you, or have a word with an officer or a guild leader if you're sort of not happy or you think things could be done a little bit better, because there are absolutely thousands of guilds in this game, believe it or not. Now, my mistake when I first started playing, my guild leader was absent. He'd quit the game and was no longer playing. And a few of the officers were still able to launch the raids and things like that. But essentially the guild had no real direction. It wasn't really going anywhere. We were just plodding along. And honestly, it's a fairly miserable part of the game, the start of the game. If you're not surrounded by like-minded individuals, it can be pretty boring as well. So some guilds, again, they're going to focus on PvP, they're going to focus on Grand Arena, or they might be more focused on PvE, so things like territory wars or territory battles. And again, it's important to find out where you are as well, and it fits in line with the guild. Now, I'm going to assume that you have never know, or you've been in the same guild for the whole time and you don't know how to find a guild. Well, you can go in here, you can search, and you can have a look. You can refresh it as well. You can advanced search, and you can search by GP, how many members it's got, etc. And let's say, for example, this one here is looking for 600 tickets a day. Territory war is a must for these guys. 1.5 million GP and 5 days AWOL booted. Now, that's actually quite a healthy attitude to take if people are like absent, or they're not playing the game, or they haven't logged in, unless you're on holiday or something. Again, if you go on holiday, just let your guild leader or let an officer know. They're not going to boot you for it, and most people are going to be pretty open to real life stuff as well. Now, finding a guild is pretty important, and it will give you a quick description in here. The other side of it is in-game recruitment. Recruitment has notoriously been very, very bad. And so there are other third-party ways to do this as well, which I will recommend. I'll put the links to both of these coming up in a second in the description down below. So first and foremost, you can actually go onto the Star Wars Galaxy Heroes forums and you can have a look at guild recruitment. So this will show you all sorts of different guilds, active guilds, elite guilds, casual guilds, guilds looking for mergers, etc., etc. And then there will be private adverts down here as well. The other way is on Discord. Now, Discord can be a lot easier, I find, just because it makes it a little bit simpler, a little bit easier to read as well. And most people playing this game tend to be on Discord as well. Now, the server that I'm on at the moment is the Star Wars Galaxy Heroes Guild Recruitment server. I'll put a link to that in the description down below. And this one does quite a nice thing where it merges it or it puts it all together in like different GP. And if you're 3 million GP, let's say, and you go, okay, well, you know, I don't want to be in too small a guild, just work it out, times it by 50. So your guild you should be looking at is around about 150 million. If you're a more competitive player, you might have a look for a 200 million GP guild, or if you're a little bit more casual, you might go and hop into a 100 million GP guild, or whatever it is. You'll know like roughly where you're at as well. So this will go all the way right up to the top as well. Now, there is an ongoing joke in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes about players wanting way too much, and you will sometimes see adverts, day one player, I'm expecting all heroic raids, I'm expecting 50 shards for Cam, Wat Tambor, things like that. It's just ridiculous. So also a guild needs to expect certain things from you as well. So don't overstretch it. There's no harm in asking, I guess, but just within your limitations as well. So the other thing about finding a guild that's sort of the right fit for you, it is incredibly important, especially if you're sort of grinding for a galactic legend at the moment. You need to be having a look at something that's that the raids are in a relatively friendly time zone for you. So let's say, for example, the pit is going to be happening around about 7 o'clock tomorrow UK time. That's perfect for me. But if like, let's say, for example, all these raids were happening at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. my time, it's just a bad fit. I'm not going to be able to hit those. I'm not going to be able to hit rewards and things like that. And also the other side of it is you need to be hitting the raids regularly to be able to get good rewards. Now, what's a sign of a healthy guild? A is going to be an active guild leader. You need to have an active guild leader, and the guild needs to have a focus or a goal or a roadmap. So, for example, you might say, right, well, we need to get Wat Tambor shards. So you might say to everyone, right, have a look in the geos, bump them up a little bit because we want to be earning more Wat Tambor shards. So it might say we want to get an extra star in a territory battle. We need to have a rough roadmap and a bit of direction for the guild so we know where we're focusing on as well. Officers also need to be helping out with things. Again, on Discord, you're able to share videos, ideas, counters, and organizing raids and PvP or PvE as well. So being able to go in and like fighting in territory wars or battles, having a rough plan is always good as well if you're a slightly more competitive player. Now, using Discord or a third-party app in-game, the chat is pretty bad, I'll be honest. It is nice because it shows you what everyone else is doing. However, in terms of communicating to other players in this game, it is a bad tool. Discord is so much better. And having tabs for like a general, territory wars, territory battles, grand arena, mods, whatever it is that you want to put in there, is a great way to actually start talking to other players about different subjects, whereas in here it's incredibly hard to have a conversation with anyone. Now, regular recruiting and weeding out of the deadwood is incredibly important in a guild if you want to be competitive. So, for example, officers need to be going in here, keeping tabs on this, who's active, who's not. So your guild needs to have at least one recruiter. Recruiting is one of the most miserable things in this whole game. It is one of the hardest things in this whole game because there are so many guilds out there recruiting. That puts us in a good position as a player because we can actually negotiate a little bit. So if we're not quite 1.5 million GP, but we like it, again, we might be able to negotiate a little bit. So it puts us in like a buyer's market, basically. That's going to be a little bit easier as well for you to get into a good guild. Now, as I said, the reason that it's important to have active players is because if you don't know about this, I'll just run through this very quickly. Each and every player has a limit of 600 tickets that they can reach every day. In terms of this, you get this from light side or dark side battles, and each and every sim goes towards my total. So for the moment, for example, and also the Cantina battles as well. So these ones here, you're going to be able to go in, do those battles, and you're able to check how much you've done. So for example, today I've done 210 out of 600. Now on the right hand side, raid tickets earned is going to show me the guild, and our goal is 30,000 tickets by the end of the day, or the reset on the day. Now, going into a decent guild, you're likely going to be expected to get 600 a day. Why is this important? Well, the main reason why it's important is because of the raids and being able to hit raids more often. So, for example, with this one, you can go in and you can see how many tickets we've got for a raid and where it caps out as well. So we need to be going in and we need to be having a look. I can't remember exactly where it is, but it tells you how much each and every phase, I think it's, no, it's not that one, but each and every phase it shows you how many tickets it takes to launch a raid. So for example, I legitimately can't find it. Bear with me a second. Right, there it is. So I was able to find it. It may have been because that one had launched already, but this will show you how many tickets it needs to launch and how many we've got currently in the holster. So it is incredibly important that, you know, if you are competitive, you need the majority of other players there getting their tickets each and every day to be able to hit the raids more often and get better loot as well. Now, talking of better loot as well, it is important to have a focus. If you can get quite early on into a guild that's doing the Geonosian territory battles, this is great, because what you're going to earn, you're going to be earning guild event currency or tickets. Get 1 and get 2, they're called. And with that, the reason that these are so important is because in this store you're able to buy the Malevolence and the Negotiator. Now this is a meta that hasn't changed in 18 months maybe, so being able to get a head start in here, that's going to generate your crystals a lot easier as well. You can pick up like character shards as well. So General Skywalker, Darth Malak are two of the most important ones there. Hermit Yoda, Wampa, and Imperial Probe Droid, etc., etc. And there's going to be quite a lot of good gear in here. But early players, again, focus down on getting these characters and getting them maxed out as well, I would say. Especially if you're going for these characters. You can also sort of keep a reserve, so when you do unlock them, make sure to get them. And again, there is a running joke, as I said before, about expecting too much. Don't overstretch yourself. And as I said, getting 600 tickets, if you're hitting your refreshes, so when you get that bonus energy, usually you only need to buy one of those for like 50 crystals a day to make it. But as I said, that's kind of one of the things I think is quite important to find a guild. As I said, there is no such thing as a bad guild. There's just a guild that's a bad fit for you. And the importance of finding a guild, I don't think people appreciate a good guild or a bad guild because they know no better. If you haven't come from a game that is like this before, you won't really understand the importance of a good guild. So what I would say, my advice is, if you're an early game player, make sure to find yourself a good guild, make sure to find yourself a guild with the right raid times, and make sure to surround yourself with like-minded people. In terms of that, if you are a more competitive player, surround yourself with competitive players. You can always move down to a more casual if you find it too hard. And essentially, if you want a little bit of an easier time in game, you don't have a huge amount of time in real life, you want to be going for a casual guild as well. So find a guild that's going to be the best fit for you. As I said, I'm not going to go too much into detail about it. It was just a few key pointers to hopefully help you out in the right direction as well. I've been That's So Moon. Thank you very much. If you do want to come over, chat in my Discord as well, the link is in the description below. Feel free to come over and say hello. And as I said, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Really does help the video and the channel out. I will see you all next time. Cheers, guys.